Good afternoon, Chairman McGee, board members, chiefs. I'll try to be as brief as possible. I'm bringing the next two presentations to you for board vote. First one is for 40 battery electric buses from New Flyer. I'll try to summarize these slides. So we're right now in contract with New Flyer since 2023 for up to 460 buses. To date, we've exercised 80 of those buses, and they're coming in as we speak. We received 10 last year. We're receiving another 27 this year for Cambridge, and we're going to receive the 43 for Quincy. These will be on top of these 40 will be in addition to the 43 for Quincy. Excuse me. This will satisfy the total need for the Quincy facility, which is 88 buses. In line with the Better Bus Project and the new bus network redesign initiatives, along with our replacement initiatives, we believe that this is the best project right now to enhance our climate goals and trying to reduce carbon throughout the network. New Flyer, some of the key features on these buses is the range of 110 miles, which we've exceeded during testing of 180 miles per charge. They all have ADA accommodations that are best in industry, in my opinion, because we have the ability to accommodate both passengers in mobility devices and passengers utilizing baby carriages and giving us plenty of aisle width. We also have dual passenger information screens that we've just added to these battery electric buses, and that seems to have, we're in the groundwork of that, trying to make it better, and we're moving forward with that better communication with our passengers. These also have an advanced driver's assistance system, which is, it's called Mobileye, and that is a pedestrian and crash avoidance system. And that's being implemented in several new buses. And these also have geofencing capability, which will monitor the bus where it's located, and depending on the subsystem, will act accordingly. So today, we're looking for the board vote to approve 40 buses from New Flyer. Delivery design will be completed in August of this year, August of 26, with deliveries in spring through the fall of 27. Total budget for New Flyer is $60,700,000. And total budget is $70,558,270,000. We did receive $22 million from the Mass DEP for the Volkswagen settlement. Do you want me to read the vote now or answer questions?
See if there's any questions. Director Butler?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Hi, Bill. How you doing today?
Good, yourself.
What's the lifespan on these batteries?
So they're claiming up to 10 years, but we have a 7-year warranty associated with those batteries.
How do you get rid of those batteries after 10 years?
After 10 years,
Yeah,
they'll have to be recycled.
they recycle them, right?
Yeah.
I'm not really sold on electric. I know I'm all for the environment, believe me, but you're seeing what happens with Ford right now, right? They're going to discontinue some of the battery trucks because they're not selling, right?
Yeah.
And, I get it. It's green. I'm all for it. But, I think going forward, we're going to be in trouble. Just that's all I'm going to say. I mean, to mine a battery, to make a battery, to get rid of them, we're not getting rid of them. I mean, it's a lot of money. That's all I'm going to say.
Other questions from the board? You want to read the, yes, Director.
What percentage of the batteries are recycled right now?
What percentage of the batteries are recycled now? Well, we don't have any battery electric buses that we've replaced the batteries on yet, so they haven't been recycled yet. We've only got 10 from the first fleet, which they arrived last year. They're still under warranty, and we've got 16 of the new ones of the 27 that are coming in this year, and those haven't even hit the street yet.
I think part of the answer to that is that we have a very robust battery recycling program in-house, because remember, every diesel bus has 2 batteries on it to start it,
Yep.
to run it. All those batteries go through a recycling program as well.
Along with our hybrids.
Correct.
Yeah, but are they the same size? No.
No,
They're a lot smaller, right?
lot small. You're
Lot
looking
smaller.
at 32.
What's the weight of a battery? in these
32
electric?
kW for the electric, for the fully electric.
Yeah.
You're looking at several tons.
Yeah,
of battery.
exactly. A little difference there.
660 kW compared to 32 kW for a hybrid. It's substantial.
And what's the, how do they work in the cold weather?
So that's where we did our testing, and that's where we have diesel heaters on these buses to supplement the heat, because the heat is the #1 drain on the battery. So we utilize under 40 degrees, we utilize diesel heat to be the primary heat for the vehicle. Above 40 degrees, we have an electric heater that will supplement the passenger.
And how many other states, Bill, are using electric buses right now? Just curious. Do you
there's-
research any of that before you go out and buy them?
There's a lot. There's a lot. We're in constant contact with the majorities of, like, Toronto, New York City, Chicago, SEPTA. There's a lot of the big, WMATA, a lot of the big ones are buying electric buses.
Just starting to buy them now, right?
In larger quantities, yes. This will equal 120 of our buses, which it's a great initial order.
Oh, I get it. I mean, it's a ton of money, right?
Yeah.
Director Katusian?
When you say we'll equal 120 of our buses, what do you mean?
So we have just about 1,000 buses.
Okay.
120 of them will be
Okay.
these battery electrics.
I saw that the ranges were ranged, but generally, average expectation was 110 miles range?
We
Was
have,
that
we have
what it was?
110, so that's the spec requirement,
Yep,
but we're seeing.
180.
There's a lot of influences. There's driver influence, topography.
yep.
Weather. There's a lot of different influences.
Yep.
And, some of it may lead to additional training for the operator, so they're more economical with the power that's on board.
I mean, Ryan, I'm sure that's operationally is going to be a big deal when you've got to think about the range, where they're going to be recharged, and how long they can drive, and which routes they can be used on too, correct?
Absolutely.
We've designed this bus so it can go out for the full day on a charge.
Okay.
That's the intent.
Okay.
It would come back, because all we have is, the infrastructure that we have is blossoming, right?
Yeah.
We have depot charging. We don't have anything on the street, which is something that, if we're going to continue this path, we want to make sure that we put some out there. That'll allow us to recharge anywhere. And right now, all we have is depot. So we've made the batteries large enough so we can get back to the depot.
And what has been the experience of some of the other transit systems in using these vehicles? I mean, I know it's early, but
It's still a blossoming technology. Is it foolproof? No, it's not foolproof, but it's blossoming. There's a lot of companies that are seeing some halfway decent reliability, and there's others that aren't seeing so great reliability. One of the big things that New Flyer made a change to is the battery manufacturer. They went from a battery manufacturer that basically took themselves out of the industry with some major recalls to a new battery manufacturer that seems to be more stable and capable of delivering what we need.
so the system, each transit system is having different or mixed results based upon the vendor, the supplier, the manufacturers, and a number of other things too.
I use this analogy.
Yeah,
It took the diesel engine manufacturers 100 years to get it right.
yeah. Yep.
They had to trip a little bit on the way in. So I'm not saying that we're struggling that much. We've got 10 buses that are being utilized for all of our charging infrastructure tests. So we are moving forward.
I guess I'm just asking, which system seems to be the most robust user of this technology? And what has their experience been, or the longest using this technology?
The longest user is out in California. I believe it's Sun Transit. They've had them the longest,
Right.
probably over a decade.
And are they still building in the usage of those technologies? Are they still?
I believe so, yeah, yeah. But most of the large transit authorities are putting some major efforts into larger purchases.
I think so just an example, Montreal has stopped buying other than electric with the
Yeah.
goal of 2040 is a full
Yeah.
fleet of 2040. And they have I don't know if their fleet's as big or bigger than ours. I think it's bigger than ours.
I
So
believe-
just an
I believe
example in terms of Montreal is I know going in big on
Yeah,
on
I
this.
believe Montreal is close to 1,500, 2,000 buses. It's a big system.
They have the energy up there to do it though, right?
Niagara?
We don't.
Yeah.
Other questions?
So if I could just add, I think this option keeps us going the direction that I think we need to go from a supply chain standpoint. We're going to come to a point in time where diesel buses are no longer manufactured based on the current trajectory.
That's correct.
And I think we're also going to get to a point where the state's own requirements for zero-emission public transportation vehicles are
Is,
forcing a lot of these decisions.
is there a smaller battery, forgive my ignorance, but is there?
So our system doesn't allow a smaller battery because we don't have en-route chargers. I would love to be able to put half the battery, half the batteries on it. But we can't do that without en route charging. And those en route charging requires real estate, it requires power, and it requires the charger.
Like a trolley bus type of battery?
The trolley bus type of battery, I'm not following.
Like
Our trolleys ran on catenary.
like a IMC trolley bus?
The
The IMC trolley bus?
IMC,
They have smaller batteries? Because from my understanding, and forgive my ignorance, it sounds like we'd be putting, I guess there's a schematic out there where a cyber truck is on a bus, and it sounds like more of a limitation than it is, a benefit.
comparing it to a Cybertruck, it's apples and bricks. But the problem is, here's how the bus is manufactured. It's got six battery strings. Okay, so each one of them is 110 kilowatts. I can take these 6 strings off one at a time if I have the infrastructure out there so I can recharge them en route. Right now, we have to go with depot charging, which is back at the garage where they rest for the night and get recharged so they can be ready for the morning pullout.
Which is infrastructure that we've just completed at Cambridge, correct?
Cambridge has.
And Quincy that is all.
Under development.
Under development right now. So the infrastructure to charge these buses has already been built or is in the process of?
Yeah.
Just a quick question, Bill. So how long does it take to charge the buses?
From a complete discharge, which is bringing the battery down to about 15%, bringing it back to 89%, takes you about 4 hours.
And what you're talking about in the future is on-street charging. There's other technology that's growing, right, in other places. Is that correct?
They have high-speed chargers or high-rate chargers that you'd sit under, the pantograph comes down, attaches to the charge rails, charges that vehicle. In 15, 20 minutes, you get a 60% charge. It's a quick, energy boost. It won't bring you back up. The last 15% of any charging is the hardest to kind of introduce into the battery pack because you're trying to put so much energy into them. But
Go ahead, Director Kutusian.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, but so is this like with other batteries? If you don't fully charge it, if you only half charge it, a number of times, it begins to
Degrade.
lose some of its degrade too, correct? So you really do want to fully charge it in order to extend the life of the battery too.
Yeah, and we've got certain aspects in our contract with New Flyer that when we do degrade and we don't meet our service requirements, they're responsible to change the batteries.
Mr. Chairman, I got one more question. On the batteries, you said you had a 7-year warranty, right?
Correct.
And that's with New Flyer, or is that with some other company that makes the battery?
That's with New Flyer.
It is with New Flyer.
Other question? Other questions? You want- Yes, Bill.
Vehicle Engineering requests that the MBTA Board of Directors authorize the General Manager and CEO or his designee to award and execute Option 1 or formal contract number 1F22 to New Flyer of America, Inc. to manufacture, furnish, and deliver 40 new low-floor, 40-foot battery electric buses with capital spares, training aids, special tools, publications, and communications for a total delivered amount not to exceed $65,238,270, and to execute any necessary or ancillary documents in the name of and on behalf of the MBTA to effectuate this agreement.
I'm looking for a motion. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Is there a way to explore to see if we can get other batteries or, I mean, a smaller battery or just explore options before committing to this?
I didn't hear the question.
Is it possible for us to approve this, but with the exception of exploring other options for smaller batteries, just so we're making sure that we're making the right decision in terms of the type of battery that it should be?
Oh, we can always reduce the number of batteries, yeah.
The type, okay.
It's quantity, right? So you need, it's energy.
No, I'm talking about the quality, like the type of battery, right? Because in theory, what I'm hearing right now, this battery's really big and it's gonna be kind of like income.
The New Flyer offers one battery, and it's made by ABS.
Right, but we also established that there are different types of batteries that are more efficient, like the IMC batteries, right, for the minibuses, like that San Francisco uses in their trolley buses, right? So there are other options.
That would be a change order?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, can I make,
It
I
is
mean,
a-
right now,
There is a,
Yes, Director.
There's
Butler.
right now,
potential.
we're in a, we've already built a facility in Quincy to house these, right?
correct.
And how many can fit in Quincy? How many of these buses?
Quincy was built for up to 120.
So pretty much they'll all go there, probably?
88 are needed for that area's service.
Yeah.
And this
So, I
would
mean,
be 88
You just said it's
identical
10% of the fleet right now, right, Ryan, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a starting point, you gotta kick the tires and see where we end up, right?
Correct.
We're gonna have to do it, I mean, it's too late in the game to change our mind, so I'll second that motion.
I will highlight, none of the facilities were built to preclude more conventional diesel hybrid maintenance or traditional diesel maintenance.
Right.
So all those activities can still be carried out at these facilities. They're agnostic to
Right.
what is actually providing propulsion.
But Quincy mainly just electric buses, pretty much.
That's how it's being built. It
Right.
doesn't preclude anything else.
And I think I've asked this question before, but in terms of the technology, so this is the current technology, but we're building a new facility and we're looking at buying these buses. Does not preclude us from, engaging with newer technology related to batteries as there's other technology that's being developed related to dry versus wet batteries and the kind of issues that are reflected in that. So is that the case?
As things advance, yeah, that we would expect that we would take advantage of those advancements.
And the facility that we're bringing these buses to would be able to accommodate newer technology, electrical related, is
Yeah,
that correct?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
It's a common platform on charging.
I mean, and I think that that's certainly something that we should hopefully continue to explore. I know we will, but even the fact that we don't have charging facilities in more places that would then, I mean, it seems like we haven't really built out the infrastructure, or we're not at this point having thought through building out the infrastructure in a way that will support this technology unless we're just
That's right.
piloting this technology to see if it's worthwhile to then further invest, right? I think it'd be interesting to understand what our philosophy is about this, because otherwise, we should be considering in our everyday operations, building the infrastructure so that we can have smaller batteries and sustain this in the future as well. Lindsay?
Hi. You may remember we got an award for climate. We're thinking about this. So yes, like we're trying to think about what is the long-term plan here. Energy siting is a very complicated area of regulatory law that as we embark at the MBTA, everything from electrified regional rail to our future bus fleet to the idea of en route charging needs to be cited and permitted. Those are things that we are actively thinking about. As of right now, we have a facility that we have built that is ready to go. We got about 40 more buses and a last option on this particular contract. Certainly in the future, we can look at other options. Let's also be honest here that the market is pretty small. And so we don't have a lot of players in the market. I suggest that this contract advances the ball forward for the Commonwealth's goals on electrification, and we do have a mandate by the legislature to electrify our bus fleet. That is something that in the background for the MBTA, we feel like we as staff are charged to move that forward. And so this vote will allow us to have those two facilities go. And Director Butler, as you suggest, will also allow us to really understand as we move in through multiple winters, what is our plan? You all voted recently to allow for some funding for our Arbor bus facility. We're going to continue to have some dialogue and some conversations about what our long-term plan is here.
I mean, I totally understand that. I'm not in disagreement with that. I just think as this has been brought to us, it'd be better for us as a board to have a more thorough understanding of what the plan is, not just the purchase of these technologies right now, but what the future plans are about alternative technologies,
Sure.
charging stations and things like that. It's a big money item to be purchasing. I think we trust the leadership that has been shown to us, the legislative mandate for climate management, but there are a lot of issues here that, it would be good to be informed of before we come to these types of votes
Yeah.
as well,
I think
including
we
the
could
philosophy about the future usage of electrification, batteries, and charging stations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, happy to work with you, Mr. Chair, on how we're thinking about those decarbonization sort of steps, and it's a puzzle. I shouldn't even call it steps. It's not like a clear path. And how do we put the puzzle together between the fleet, the facility, the staffing needs, the maintenance changes, the technology that's changing? To give an example, the way the battery technology we know is changing on Fairmount Line, which you all approved not long ago, we believed that we were going to need to hang 3 miles of catenary for 10-mile tracks. We now don't need to hang that catenary because the batteries have advanced. And so certainly this is an evolving area, and I'd be happy to work with you, Mr. Chair, if that's something we can come back on.
Understand it's a puzzle, just like to be told a little bit more about the puzzle.
More
as
pieces.
we're-
See more
as
of the
we're
pieces?
piecing it together.
We'd be happy to share what we're looking at.
I want to echo that comment, and that has been the theme today, that we can't see the full puzzle. We're getting little pieces at a time. And we trust that you're doing really good analysis, but like you're saying, as the climate goals change, as the technology evolves, as you're doing more research, help us understand that. Because the more we understand up front, the less you're going to get some of these questions.
Sure.
So we know you only have a couple of, electric battery vendors, but what's the future looking like, and how are you planning for that future?
There's a lot of things coming out in the future, including hydrogen fuel cell.
Yeah.
That's not here yet. I worked on the first, when I worked for Nova Bus, I worked on the first one for Georgetown University back in 1996. The technology was brand new then. It is nowhere even close to being ready for prime time. There's a couple of deployments throughout the country. There's absolutely no hydrogen anywhere, so you got to truck it all in. And that's all going to come from either Niagara or the dam up in Ontario. So it's very hard to generate
Yeah.
hydrogen.
Yeah.
So-
But even telling
But
us that.
it's coming,
helpful.
it's coming.
Yeah.
Once
We'd be
the
happy to come
infrastructure is,
Yeah.
it's battery and hydrogen, which one's going to?
Yeah. Thank you, but that's helpful, so appreciate it.
And
Thanks.
obviously, it's an ongoing discussion to continue to educate the board on all of these proposals and technology and our plans moving forward. There is and I know Director Smart will be coming back shortly. There is a motion and a second on the floor. When Director Smart does come back, unless there are other questions, we can go.
No other questions?
If there's no other questions, we'll briefly recess until Director Smart comes back, and then we'll go to the vote.
Can you sing a song or something? Christmas song? Brian, can you sing a Christmas song?
I'll lead us off, hold on, let me, I hope she comes back shortly.
If you want to sing a song, please.
No, I'm no good.
I was just about to kick off the first bar of the song. Now I don't have to.
You can finish in the end, Ryan. We're happy to listen to you. Noah, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Roll call, please.
Chair McGee,
Yes.
Director Butler,
Yes.
Director Katusian.
Yes.
Director Skelton Roberts.
Yes.
Director Smart. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
More to come, right, Lindsay?
Yeah, one more.
One more here, but I mean more to come
Oh, yeah.
beyond the next agenda item. Well, this will be,
So,
Bill, you want to jump into the,
yeah, so the second.
the overhaul of the locomotives?
Yeah, the second presentation is the overhaul of our 2014 to 2015 HSP 46 locomotives that were manufactured by MPI. We are actually hitting this locomotive when we're supposed to be, hitting the midlife overhaul of this when we're supposed to be hitting it, which is in the 12-year timeframe, 10 to 12-year timeframe. We're initiating this, and we will, with the expectation that delivery will occur between 29 and 32. We're going to do everything that we can to expedite that and reduce that as much as possible, working with Wabtec, which is the manufacturer that originally built the vehicle and will be performing the overhaul. So we have 40 of these locomotives. We awarded the contract in 2010 originally. In 2014, we started getting them. They have a 25-year useful life, and we are in the midway point of that life. Vehicle engineering did a comprehensive evaluation of the fleet and developed a condition assessment, which led to an RFP that we solicited, and the contractor that was selected was Wabtec. They were the only bidder. The contractor will also provide an obsolescence plan. This is one of the things that we strive for and we have struggles with over the years, which is obsolescence, electronics that go obsolete. So there's, just like battery changes, the electronic equipment goes into obsolescence too. So we've put into this contract clauses that they're responsible to support us for 15 years. This program will also help us bridge us to the next generation gap, which is zero emission. Some of the big items that we're going to be overhauling, obviously for the engineers' amenities, we're going to clean up the cab, take care of some items that were degrading over the years, and rebuild the engine and other subsystems. Today we're looking for the award. The locomotive design review will continue through the summer of 26. Pilot delivery anticipated in December of 28. And production begins and ends February 29 through 32. Total contract budget, or total budget for this project is $253,158,771. This contract with Wabtec is for $222,695,746.
Bill, I have one question.
Yeah.
Just to clarify the timeline. So there's going to be, some will be worked on, some will be running. That's not just all of the 40 are going out. And then
Correct.
coming back in 3 years.
No.
So just to explain that more clearly, because I don't think it identifies it in the
Sure.
flood.
So our pilot program is we're going to introduce, I believe it's two locomotives into the pilot program, which they'll disassemble them, and they'll get the ball rolling on the design process. Then we will slowly ramp up. After we're all in agreement with the pilot vehicles and we've tested them and we're going to go into production, then we'll ramp up. And right now, we're in discussions with exactly how many, but it's going to be between 8 and 10 locomotives in the production. That means that there'll be locomotives going, locomotives at the production facility, and locomotives coming back being tested. So that will be that quantity to perform this.
So there'll be
duty.
30 running
There'll be
in different
correct.
iterations of what's going on.
Correct.
In other words, and then there'll be the new overhauls coming back and be running while those other next 8
I'll
or 10.
take one, put one in.
Okay,
It'll be an exchange.
yeah, thank you.
I have one question, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
yes, Director.
Where's WabTech out of?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
And do we do any of this work in-house?
Not to this extent.
No, nothing like that to the engines.
This is a very unique locomotive.
Yeah.
We own the only 40 in the world.
Really?
So Wabtec bought the OEM.
Yeah. GE, MPI,
Oh, it's GE?
yeah. It's a GE engine.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Director Couturier?
Thank you very much, Bill. So this is the overhauling of the only 40 in the world that exist?
Correct.
That we're
Yes.
continuing to use?
Correct. And Bill made the point earlier in his presentation. This will be the first locomotive fleet that hits the milestone for a midlife overhaul if this vote moves forward.
Where this is the time to do them. We're doing it on time.
And
Which we may have not have done on this timeline in the past.
Exactly.
In terms of getting to the point of doing it at the right time to get the
Yep.
locomotives up to speed and.
Correct.
Yep.
Right, this is the first?
This will be the first for the MBTA.
We did our condition assessment. We developed the RFP and the spec, and we went to the senior management at the MBTA and said, hey, we need to start doing this now, and everybody was in agreement that we needed to do it. Reliability, it's
And
starting to deteriorate.
earlier point too, this program does provide that bridge so that we can continue to operate reliable service. We talked very early in this board meeting, commuter rail ridership sets the standard across the country, across the industry here in Boston, and we need to make sure that we maintain that. This program allows us to maintain that while we look at the next generation of traction power.
So one more question. So WebTech, how many contracts do they have? If they only have 40 of these trains, what else are they building over there? I'm just curious. What else do they do?
They rebuild a lot of freight stuff.
They do a lot of freight and rail?
Correct. In the grand scheme, for example, a private Class 1 freight carrier rosters 14,000 locomotives.
Yeah.
We do not. But they're always building new diesel-electric locomotives, overhauling for the Class 1 freight railroads, for other commuter railroads.
No, I'm thinking it's 15 years, a long time, right, for a company, right? Hopefully they'll be around. I mean, we thought, Westinghouse was going to be around.
They've been around
They've been around a long time,
Erie's been around for a very long time.
so they're not going nowhere.
And most of the companies that have gone away were bought by Wabtec.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
they bought everybody.
Mr. Chairman, so Ryan, when you said we set the tone for the country, what were you referring to?
As far as service delivery,
Okay.
Passenger volumes. So in order to continue to sustain that,
Yep,
if we were to punt this to a future year,
yep,
we run the risk of degrading service.
gotcha. And assumedly, with the cost of this, which is, not insignificant, that the alternatives are much worse. Is that right? What are the alternatives to refurbishing these 40
That would-
locomotives?
So that would be a whole new procurement.
Yeah, but I'm
We
just
would-
curious,
yeah.
what are we talking? I'm just curious, what is the alternative?
I mean, there's Tier 4 diesel locomotives. Those are manufactured here in the U.S. And we are looking at Tier 4 locomotives. We're looking at the future of battery electric hybrid locomotives. But that's not here now. And we have this problem here and now where if this was to be pushed off for, say, 5 years, out of the 40, I can tell you probably 10 are going to be parked because they can no longer perform. Service will continue to degrade, and that's why, as someone who has spent hundreds of hours operating this fleet of locomotive. It's the backbone of the commuter rail service, as we know it today.
And they're showing their age. They are
Yeah.
definitely showing, it's a 25-year asset.
5-year lifespan?
And it's
Yeah,
not.
It's a 25-year asset that, you know, we utilized FTA money, so federal money, to buy them originally. So we've got to keep them for that duration. Doing a
The original
midlife
contract
overhaul.
was 2010, though, correct? Was that when we first?
That's when we signed, that's when we gave Motive Power,
I got you.
NTP.
I got you.
We didn't get the first one until 2014.
Okay. And then just a quick one, when you spoke about, we get the first two, and they get disassembled,
Yeah.
meaning we receive the first two, and then we disassemble, like, what does the
So-
disassembly mean?
So we give them NTP, 2 locomotives are selected, and usually they're degraded ones that are in need of work, extensive work.
Yeah, yeah.
These will be shipped out to Erie. They'll go through a process of disassembling the
They
locomotive.
disassemble, I thought you were saying that we get
We
them.
will be there witnessing this.
Okay.
And we'll go through that and make sure that, you know, anything that is deteriorated to a manner that needs to be addressed, we will address it. All the large components, engine, turbo, water pump, radiator air charge cooler assemblies.
Air cooling, all that stuff,
stuff
yep.
is going to be
Yep.
evaluated, either reconditioned or rebuilt or replaced.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And that'll go through a design process. Our intent is to improve things, right? We've got windows that leak, we've got doors that have issues, we've got side panels that we want to address certain things, and we want to make sure that we're addressing these things in a timely fashion so we can get them
Understood.
back.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
I've got my design team, part of them are here, that they will be addressing these issues with Wabtec in an expedited manner, because we're gonna be in the factory with them, watching them tear this thing apart so we can make decisions quickly and move the project
Gotcha.
as fast as possible.
Thank you.
Director?
Thanks. Quick question. So project delivery is completed March 2032? That means
Correct.
we'll have all of them done. What's the lifespan once you have all 40 of them done?
Well, so it's a lifespan of 25 years for the locomotive, right? But we will most likely be keeping these a lot longer than the 25 years.
So after,
Similar to what we have with our other fleets.
so after you overhaul all 40, they will last another 25 years? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
no, their life expectancy is the remaining portion of the 25 years life expectancy.
So 15 years?
Yeah, they're-
Correct. 25 years is the expected life. Now, that gets into like the frame of the vehicle. Components can always be replaced, and as part of any locomotive, there's a midlife overhaul. That's what this is. So it's not new frames. A lot of components are untouched. It's the rotating components that are focused on. It's the wear components that are focused on.
So those that get done last will have, I mean, if you're talking about the last one gets done, we get it back in 2032, that means you have some trains that will have a 7-year lifespan.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood the math.
Other questions? You want to, did you already go through the request?
Sure. Vehicle Engineering requests that the MBTA Board of Directors authorize the General Manager and CEO or his designee to proceed with the overhaul of 40 HSP 46 locomotives by Westinghouse Air Brake Technologies and approve contract number FC 197F-24 for a total delivered amount not to exceed $222,695,746, and to execute any necessary or ancillary documents in the name of and on behalf of the MBTA to effectuate this agreement.
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion, is there a second? Second. There's a second? Noah, please call the roll.
Chair McGee,
Yes.
Director Butler,
Yes.
Director Katujian,
Yes.
Director Skelton Roberts, and Director Smart.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you and your team. That is the last item on the agenda. Open for a motion to adjourn. There's a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Noah, please call the roll.
Chair McGee,
Yes.
Director Butler.
Yes.
Director Katujian.
Yes.
Director Skelton Roberts. Director Smart. Thank you. We stand adjourned.